Okay, dear children, welcome to SRS online classes. This is your social science teacher Gangadhar sir. So in the previous session we have understood some of the important terminologies or concepts related to your second chapter of economics, that is human resources. So now today we will understand the meaning of the term human resource and how and when people are going to be considered as resource. Why? Because see, traditionally we people always thought that whenever there is increase in the population, that also increases the burden on the country. See, why we thought so? Because if you people want to provide better education facility, better health facility, better medical facility and better food facilities or nutritious food facilities, then it will be a huge burden on the part of the government or on the part of the society when the population increases exponentially. See, population is an asset only when it is having education, skill and when the population is healthy. For your better understanding, I will give an example. Assume that there are 5 members in a family. There are 5 members in a family and among these 5 members, 3 members are working people. They are very healthy people. One is an engineer, another one is a police officer, another one is a lecturer. Just an assumption. Okay. Now they are all very healthy and their total income is also very high in a given that in a particular family. Then compare this family with other. Okay. In another family there are 10 members. Assume that there are 10 members. Among these 10 members, only 3 are working. Now, you can easily understand and you can easily answer that which family standard of living. That means the way those people are living will be better. Obviously, we will say that the family of the 5 members. So, in which all the 3 what we call elder people or 3 people are working in different sectors. Now, when we people are going to engage in different sector, obviously the income also increases. Now, so we have to understand that human beings can be also referred as a resource only when they are educated, when they are skilled, when they are healthy, then we can call them as a human capital or we can call them as human resource. Now, what is the meaning of the term resource? In general, we are going to say resource. See, soil is a resource, water is a resource, mineral resources, we are going to use this word. Resource means anything, any substance, any naturally occurring thing which is having usability or which is having utility. Okay, that is referred as resources. Now, assume that there is no resource in a country. Resource means there is shortage of water. The soil quality is also very less. Okay. Then the minerals are not available. They have to depend upon another country. Now, do you think that there is a scope of development? There is a possibility of development of a such type of country? It is very difficult. Why? Because for development of a nation or a country, we need some basic requirements or basic resources. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to experience or to achieve economic growth. Now, in India, we people are always deficient in resources. That means our resources are very less when compared to our population. Now, what we have to do here? We have to convert our population itself as a resource. You can convert it. Okay, I will give an example, dear children. See, before 1990s, that is 1991, before 1991, okay, everybody thought that in India, population is just a liability. Liability means which is not yielding any fruit. Okay, so education, even it was also not given much preference. But when there was an IT revolution, that is what we call as information technology revolution. See, suddenly there was a demand for skilled laborers or skilled people. Nowadays, if you look at the economy of our India, so we people are more dependent upon service providing sector. That means we are not generating anything which is concrete, which we can see or which we can sell. So what we are generating? We are generating more doctors, more engineers, entrepreneurs, businessmen, great leaders, philosophers. Okay, so they are just like an asset to our nation. Why they are asset to nation? Because they will create employment opportunities. They will create wealth for the nation. They will create prosperity to the nation. That is why, dear children, please understand that. See, human beings can be also considered as a capital. Human beings can be also considered as a resource only if they have education, if they are skilled enough, and if they are willing to add any productivity, if they are willing to add productivity to the total income of the country, which we are going to call it as GDP. Okay, don't worry about GDP. GDP means gross domestic product. Okay, so people who are much educated, people who are skilled, people who are working, people who are healthy, so they are referred as human resources, because you do know the meaning of resource. Anything which adds utility, anything which adds wealth to the existing situation, that is what we refer as a resource. Okay, so gold is a resource, diamond is a resource. In the same way, human beings can be also considered as a resource. I hope that you people have understood what is the meaning of the term human resource or people as a resource. Okay, now the another question arises here is, can we say always that population is a resource or human beings are resource? Definitely not. Okay, why? Because I will give an example. If the more number of people in a country, they are illiterate, assume that they are illiterate, or they are less skilled, okay, or they don't have working ability, or they are unhealthy. Now, under these circumstances, human beings cannot be called as resource, because they can't add any value to the economy of our country. So we people have to take care of them. So we are going to pay taxes to the government, and the government receives the taxes and it invests the same tax on the welfare of its people. Okay, so whenever these number of people are going to get increased, the burden of the tax on the common people is also going to increase. Suppose, assume that all the people, not all the people, majority of the population in a country is working population. If it is healthy population, do you think that it will become liability on others to look after those people? Definitely not. Everyone is working, everyone is contributing, and the nation is progressing. So that is why we people are giving more focus on what? More focus on education. Okay, after education we provide better food facilities, nutritious food facilities, and there are different programs and policies brought by the central government as well as state government for the welfare of you people or for the welfare of human beings. Okay, so why they are doing all these things? They are doing because to achieve development in all the spheres of activities. So you have to understand this particular concept in different perspective, dear children. Don't think that always population is an liability. Population will be liability only when the people are uneducated. They are going to become liability. Okay, if they are unskilled, if they don't have any skill, then if they are unhealthy, okay, if they are not willing to work, okay, if they are not willing to work, so then we are going to call population as an liability. Okay. Now we will understand and analyze when or how, not when, how population, if it is educated, if it is healthy, how can it contribute for the welfare of its people or welfare of its nation. There are different benefits that we people are having if the country is well educated, well skilled and healthy. Now look here, if you are going to have these kind of people, that is literate, healthy and skilled people, they will be considered as human capital. They will be considered as human capital. Okay. Then they create what? They can create wealth. So don't think that only they will be benefited by their wealth. There will be many people who are going to get indirectly benefited by them. For example, when software companies were established in Bangalore, that is information technology revolution, IT revolution or biotechnology, BT revolution happened, suddenly the business in Bangalore and the surrounding area, it increased. Okay. See, I will give another example, simple example. Assume that a person in Chitradurga, he establishes 10 software industries, 10 software companies. Now, do you think that it has only benefited that person who has established that company, or else it has also benefited those people who are in surrounding? So it is going to benefit everyone. Okay, suppose a company is established, new banks will be also started. When they are going to establish new banks, there will be more requirement of employment and there will be increase for the banking opportunities, banking employment for the people who have done their degrees or who have attained their BCom or BA, BSc, MS engineering. So they will also get what we call as employment opportunity. And the human beings or individuals who have attained engineering degree in CS or in electronic and communication, they will be also provided employment directly. See, directly and indirectly, everyone is going to get benefit with what kind of people? With the people who are healthy, skilled and who are educated. I hope that you people have understood that how they are going to indirectly benefit the entire society. Now, society will gain through them. With through whom? Through the human capital. Human capital means we people. Okay. Now, they will use resource in a better way. This is very important. See, they will use resource in a better way. They means here what? They means the human resource. So those who are educated, healthy, skilled, they are referred as human resource. So these people can utilize the available things or resources in a better way. How? I will give an example. Now, assume that there is a farmer who is uneducated, who don't know about anything about modern technology, or else he don't have basic literacy skills, basic technological skills. Now, there is another person who is much educated, who is well aware of present technology, who do have knowledge of market and economy. Then you can easily see the difference between these two people. Say, the person who have attained degree or who have gained knowledge, who do have some basic technological information, he is going to use the available resources in better way. How? For example, assume that both are having 2 acres of land. The farmer who is uneducated, he is also having 2 acres of land, and the farmer who is very educated, he is also having 2 acres of land. Now, the farmer who is educated, what he will do? He will opt for multi-cropping pattern. So he is not going to fix for a traditional crop. So he will opt for multi-cropping. That means cultivation of different crops in a given set of area. That is called as multi-cropping. That is one way. Second one is, he, that is educated farmer, he will focus on what? He will focus on new what we call as crops. He won't go for the traditional method. He will focus on other kinds of farming techniques. For example, he might make use of sprinkler irrigation in a very better way. So, when compared to the uneducated farmer, the educated farmer is going to use the available resource. Water is a resource, land is a resource, which are very limited. So, here educated person, he will use the resource in a very judicious way, in a very better way. So, I will give another example for your understanding. Africa, you all know about Africa. Africa, it is one of the wealthiest continent on this planet. Diamond, gold, platinum, cobalt, everything is derived from Africa. But Africa is the poorest continent in the world. See, this is what we call as contradiction. All the wealth is situated in Africa, but at the same time, it is very poor. Why do you think so it is poor? Because the human resources in Africa is not in a good condition. That means those people, the African people, they don't have an ability to make use of the available resources in a better way. Okay, assume that if we people are great scientists or great what we call as technocrats, if they had not invented engine, that is diesel engine or petrol engine, do you think that Saudi Arabia or Arabian countries would have prospered like this? Definitely not. Why? Because they do have a resource, they do have a crude oil, but they don't know technical know-how, how to utilize the available resources. So who can make use of the resources in a better way? It is always the educated person, the skilled person who is having innovation mentality, who wants to create new thing in the society. So they are going to make use of the available resource in a very much better way when compared to illiterate, or what we can say when we compare to the person who don't have knowledge about the resources. So this is what we call as benefits of having better human capital or better human resources. Now, if the human resource is not, or the population is not working, healthy or educated, what will happen? It will become a liability. See, uneducated people, unskilled people, unhealthy, so not willing to work. These type of people are called as liability on the economy. They won't be referred as human resources. I hope that you have understood the meaning of the term human resource. When human resource will be considered as a liability, under what circumstances? Then the third most important thing is, what is the use of human resource? What are the benefits of human resources? And when human beings are called as capital. See, don't think that money, land, that is the only capital. Machines, money, they are not the only capital. We people are also considered as human capital. For example, if you go to a doctor, if you visit a doctor to get treated or get diagnosed, so what is the thing that the doctor is going to use there? So he will use his skill, his knowledge. So his knowledge is capital for him. So I am teaching to you people, okay? So what is my capital? Do you think I am investing money here? No. I am investing my knowledge to teach you people in a very better way. So now, one person who is going to use his skill, knowledge to create wealth in the society. He will be referred as human capital. I hope that you have understood about these three things in a better way, dear children. See, water is a resource, land is a resource, minerals that are available in our environment, that is also a resource. But what is the difference between the resources that is found in nature and how we people, that is human beings, are different from that kind of resource? See, these 3 points are very important, dear children. Just look here. They make use of land and capital. Assume that if there was no human beings, do you think that all the what we call as natural things or natural substances that is occurring on the planet Earth, it would have got value? Definitely not. So who has to make use of the available resources? That is we people. So the resources are not going to make use of us. See, water is not going to make use of us. Land is not going to make use of us. But we people will make use of the available resources. So they make use of land and capital. Okay. Then human resource is not fixed. See, it is abundant. It is unlimited. There is a limitation for coal. Even what we call soil, if it is also abundantly available on the planet Earth, but day to day the quality of the soil is deteriorating. Then for example, if you are going to take coal, okay, which we people use to generate electricity, the availability of the coal is decreasing day by day. The petroleum product, the petrol, the crude oil, that's availability is also decreasing day by day. Now, do you think that human beings' availability is decreasing or increasing? It is increasing. The population is increasing day by day. Okay, it is not fixed. Coal is fixed. Okay, then crude oil is also very fixed. You can't increase its quantity. It will take millions of years to regenerate by the nature itself. Hence, that is the major difference between other type of resources and human resources. Human resource is not fixed. It is unlimited. So it is available in a large quantity. Then they can be productive. Human beings can be productive. Do you think that if there was no human beings, other resources would have been productive on their own? No. Okay, we by our intelligence, we by our wisdom, we are able to make use of those resources. Hence, they can be productive. That means human beings can be productive, provided when they will be productive, provided them education and health facilities. That is the difference between other resource and human resource. See, do you think that you can teach anything to coal? Do you think that you can teach anything to water? Their quality cannot be enhanced. You can't teach them anything. You can't make them better or worse. Okay? But human beings' productivity can be increased only if they are provided education and health facility. So this is how human resources are different from other type of resources. So now 3 questions related to this particular session, dear children. What is human resource? First one. Second, what are the advantages of human resources? You should write 4 points that I have discussed. 4 advantages of human resource. Difference between human resource and other resources. So you just write this particular 3 points. Difference between human resource and other resources. So I hope that you have understood it in a very crystal clear way, dear children. Thank you. Thank you for being with me.